Welcome to another episode from the Pink Seats Podcast here on the State of Louisville Podcast Network. Special two-man edition tonight. Producer Keith in full screen.
I know. This is weird.
And Vincent Lococo.
I know. It's nice to be at the new spot and to officially not be doing this so much on Restream. I'm sure we'll have some Restream, podcasts here in the future, but it's nice. We did not do this Rubik's Cube. I'm sure Sydney or somebody else did this at some point. Yeah, somebody smart did this. We're football guys. We can't do that. But yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, so you'll be seeing a lot more like open setting sort of thing in the future. Really excited to talk more about that when the time comes. So little behind the scenes here. We're getting set up and get ready to go. And I'm talking to people behind the scenes and they're like, oh, we didn't know you were in tonight. If so, we would have had the box lighting set up.
Oh,
and like, our audience is used to seeing us in our dingy, dimly lit bedrooms looking like with just a ring light on our face.
Seriously.
I think that this is going to be a massive upgrade.
Yeah. Now that you get to see all the wrinkles and the bags and I'm not behind a completely green wall anymore. I don't know what everybody's going to do now.
I just can't hide the belly.
Yeah, I know. My legs are crossed right now. For that reason, I'm sure somebody will point that out in the comments here in the near future. So can't wait for that one.
You know where else you aren't able to hide the wrinkles or the flaws or anything else like that? In front of, what do you say, about 6,000 people?
I'm not good at math. Sure. Yeah.
I'm talking about the spring game.
That looked about 5,000-ish. It just driving into the parking lot and seeing it, obviously not full, but, seeing a good crowd for the spring game on a Friday night where the weather was, expected to be kind of sketchy, but turned out to be a beautiful day. When we were setting up the live show and everything, it was freezing a little bit because of the wind for me.
Yeah.
But
wasn't just you.
Yeah. Once the game got going, it was awesome. It was perfect.
Yeah. The weather ended up being gorgeous and, it's a spring game, so you can only take so much away from it. I know that's bad for the biz. Like, we need to overreact and be hyper animated. And the team's winning the national champ. But it's like taking your vegetables. Nuanced takes are vegetables, and I'm going to feed them to you. So we finally got a game time atmosphere look.
Right.
What the team was going to look like. So, Vince, what were some of the things that jumped out to you to start?
Before we get going, I'm going to FaceTime our residential, what would he be considered to us, parental guardian, Jacob Lane, because I felt bad. We're doing our first recording in a new studio, and it's like Jacob gave us the keys to the car and said, boys, go ahead. I've been in here doing this with basketball. So
okay,
we'll give Jacob. We'll give 2 seconds to see if Jacob will answer.
I was going to say I can take off and filibuster while he's picking up while we look, or are we just going to wait with anticipation?
I'm going to wait with anticipation because I texted him that we were going to do this, and if he's not going to, we got a connection. Oh, Jacob, look at this. We got a new studio, and we're live.
Yeah, you're being recorded right now.
No, we're recording, but yeah, that counts too. What were your thoughts on the spring game, Jacob? We thought we get your just a minute, 1 minute.
1 minute. All right. Well, I'm going to focus 1 minute on you on the field at halftime. 1, you looked like you weren't very happy. 2, I yelled your name a lot and you never replied or looked my way. I was very upset about that. 3, man, I love that you're an alumni. It's a great feeling seeing you out there and cheering for you. I wish I would have gotten the opportunity many, many, many days ago when you were playing out there. To the football game. I love the defense. Ronnie Johnson is my guy. He's going to be my number 1 player this year that I will be leading the fan presidency for. I love the offensive line, defensive line, just the physicality. You got to get some guys healthy. Running backs, love to see Isaac Brown, love to see Duke Watson. What's up, Mr. Wilder? I knew you'd be there. Work to do at wide receiver, work to do at tight end, some work up in the back end on the defense. But other than that, guys, I'm looking forward to football. It looks good.
Right. Looking forward to it. I let the audience know that we did not do this Rubik's Cube. We can't take any credit for that, Jacob. We just can't.
You did the Rubik's Cube. I heard you can do it in 30 seconds. Or
yep.
less.
All right. Good talking to you, brother. My thoughts on the spring game, man. It was obviously fun just being back out there in a football environment with everything that went on for my class and a lot of us alumni throughout the week. So just being there was a special feeling. Seeing, it's a spring game. You're going to see a bland offense. It's going to be very vanilla. Jeff being, the guy he is going to throw a couple trick plays in there just to give us, a little feeling of that.
Didn't we have a fumble on a double reverse?
We did. But, he's going to show it, obviously, and he's probably sitting over here mad in the moment we fumbled, but happy, once he goes and rewatches film because he's like, somebody thinks we can't run this now, so, we're not going to be able to run it in a game, X, Y. That weird thought coaches have. What else, man? D-line was awesome. For me, Miller Moss didn't get exactly what – he did fine, but it wasn't what everybody just needs to realize it's not going to be Tyler.
I think he was as advertised. If you aren't someone who
I completely agree. I just wasn't saying it right.
Yeah. If you're not someone who completely dove into the hype machine expecting him to be this Herculean mountain of a man tossing thunderbolts across the field, then you're probably going to be let down. But if you expected a smart veteran player who's going to make the smart pass, has the arm to get some shots downfield.
Yeah, right.
We had a couple of 20-something yard completions with Miller on the field, but he made the smart play. The one interception he threw, the ball was a little off target, but Bell had it in his possession, and then that was just a grown-ass man off, and Rodney Johnson
and he won that one. He won that one.
one.
I'm sure there's a lot of those battles going on at practice, and Chris and Colin and all the wide receivers win their fair share of it. I think he's going to run the offense just fine. I think it's going to be ran exactly how Jeff and Brian want the offense to be ran. I don't think there's going to be a lot of hiccups and things. If there was ever questioning in last year and surely the year before and checks and things like that being made at the line of scrimmage, I don't think we'll ever have those questions this year. I think they'll have full confidence in Miller Moss going out there and just executing everything as if there's a third football coach out there on the field.
So I'll steer it a little bit off track. What do you expect to see from the offense in the upcoming year? Because watching the spring game and the way it was, I know we didn't do it often, which it's kind of pointless when you're going to the thud. But when we did run the ball, we looked really effective running the ball.
Yeah.
So I kind of almost am expecting the offense to look more like the 2023 offense than the 2024 offense where we're clamoring, pass the ball more.
Yeah, right.
Run the ball more.
I just think, Tyler, clearly with him rising up the NFL drops. Exactly. We had a very special guy last year. I agree with you. It's going to be a little bit, I think it'll be better than what it was in 23 just because I think Miller's better than Jack. No slight on Jack, but I just think that. And when I say efficiently, that's really how I'm going to sum up the offense this year. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't think we'll be top 10. I don't think we'll be top 5 and 20 plus 30 plus yards downfield passing. We might, I don't know.
I was going to say Duke Watson might be in 20 plus yards.
Exactly. Yeah, no kidding. But I just think we'll be a really, really good offense. I think we'll light up the scoreboard. That's for damn sure because we have that full capability.
We're going to be an offense that casuals might find boring. And what I mean by that is, like you said, we're not going to have the 50, 60-yard bombs downfield, and we're not going to be able to gash off those 30, 40, 50-yard runs every time. Will those happen pretty frequently with Isaac and Duke? I think so.
And I think the bombs could happen frequently with Lacy and Chris Bell. If either one of those guys are in the slot, it's just about us seeing it and them doing it, on a consistent basis.
I guess it's a matter of we still have an incomplete roster, so we're just painting with the colors that we have available right now. Who knows what could happen? What was it? Pocahontas. We could be painting with all the colors of the wind come fall. So.
You mentioned the run game, man, and I know everybody was probably happy we didn't see that much Isaac Brown.
Yeah.
But, I just wanted to see a little bit more because I love watching that dude run the damn football, man. He is so special.
So nice.
Yes, and Duke
popped off a nice little...
Yeah, and Keemon Brown himself, they all three of those guys.
Maurice Wilder.
Exactly. The running back room with what Coach Barkley is being able to do with these guys, he is creating a spot at this room within this offense where a 4 or 5 star running back can look at that and say, I want to be there. This isn't, your normal, people say normal. Jeff hasn't been able to have a running back in a running game like this. We say this every year with him, ever since Ace Wells. I mean, going back to his Western Kentucky days. He just didn't have this running game at Purdue, and having it now in the conference we're in is electric for him.
It's wild that we have 4 running backs that we trust and the number 1 ranked running back in Kentucky coming in for fall camp. So
yeah, it's a nice problem to have.
So before we get too far gone, I did want to finish the point though. So like casuals may find the offense boring, but I think it's going to be an offense that the analytics nerds love because it's one that's always staying on schedule. You're not going to have those massive negative plays that can derail teams.
With our offensive line, it's going to be hard not to gain. Our offensive line and running backs, it's going to be hard not to stay ahead of schedule on first and second down. It's going to be really hard not to.
Let's talk about the offensive line a little bit. So missing 2 expected starters, now 1 expected starter.
We'll get to the funeral.
I'll shed a single tear. I'll save that for a little bit later in the show. So missing 2 expected starters.
Yeah.
And still rotating in about 7-8 guys for like with the 1s. And then you go down to the 2s. Against pretty solid defensive line, I was pleasantly surprised at how at least the 1s on the offensive line looked.
I completely agree. They were dominant in the run game, and I mean, not enough. I didn't notice any really hiccups in the pass game with them. And Miller Moss is phenomenal at navigating navigating the pocket too. So that's an advantage we have big time when it comes to I know we're talking offensive line, but when you want to compare Tyler and Miller, like we're going to be doing all throughout this year, that's one thing I think maybe the only thing that Miller has up on Tyler.
So both of them, the comparison, both of them do a fantastic job helping the offensive line. Like if you get beat, like Tyler was very good about, hey, pressure's coming. I don't have anywhere to go. Let's just dump this off at a running back's feet.
Or take off.
Yeah. Miller, he maneuvers around that pocket so well.
Yeah.
It's like you see it watching tape and you're like, oh yeah, he moves well in the pocket. But watching it in person, just how he stays controlled in that chaos, keeps his eyes downfield, steps up, maneuvers around the lineman, and then escapes to find like a little 5-yard dump off. It's little plays like that are why veteran quarterbacks are so sought after.
It really looks like the quarterback drills that they do in individual and stuff like that. It's so funny. I mean, Miller Moss is that prototypical quarterback that you use for your teach tape and stuff like that and everything. You want to see this drill work in person? Here's Miller Moss.
Yeah, that just makes me think of the old Ben Roethlisberger clip where he's just batting the balls that they're throwing.
Yeah. I doubt that's what he does.
That's what you do when you're an established starter and no one can take your job.
Exactly. I mean, Deuce Adams is nipping at the butt right there to get an opportunity.
So QB2, we sort of got an opportunity, and that's where I'll kind of shift into a little bit of a disappointing aspect. I was hoping we were going to save some big plays drawn up for those guys to let them sling it.
Yeah.
But the 2 offensive line, because our defensive line is so deep, the 2s that were firmly established 2s and weren't rotating with the 1s could have been better.
Well, Keith, there's no true... I mean, if you have a D-line that's rotating, there's no true 2 D-line in that kind of situation. It's like whatever I planned on, the D-line coach planned on the rotation being like, oh, I want this second group of guys to get a little bit more clock with the 1 linebackers and 1 secondary and vice versa. So, I mean, I'm sure there were quite a few times where there were some guys that are going to see a lot of clock this year going against some guys that probably won't be seeing much clock. And I mean, it sucks. That's just always the thing you see in spring games is the backup quarterback usually doesn't have the best of days.
Yeah, but neither one was particularly bad. I would say both were pedestrian performances.
Yeah, nothing where you're sitting over here clamoring for somebody to take some more reps away from Miller Moss.
Yeah, the battle was not won for QB2. So
no.
I was hoping we'd be closer to finding an answer. Looks like we're going to continue with that into training camp. Tight ends, we were really hurting for depth. I mean, even our walk-on backup, who was, I think, 5th string on paper to start the year, he was injured.
What we have 2?
All we had was Skinner and Kariski.
Yeah,
which was wild.
Nate Kariski is awesome, man. Like, I know play-wise and stuff, probably not awesome, not what you would classify as awesome. But he is always there. He is like the one standing for. You need somebody in that tight end room? Let's go to Nate Kariski. You need something done? You go to Nate Kariski. He's that guy.
He is what I would classify as a good college tight end.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He is a good college tight end. Will he go pro and play tight end? I'm not a scout. I don't know.
Hey, he can develop. We never know.
No.
NFL's a crazy league.
He's developed into, somebody I trust on the field. I know what I'm getting out of him at least, and I can work with somebody I'm not expecting any surprises or anything. You know what I mean? I know what I'm getting.
Exactly. I'm just trying to think anything else on the offensive side of the ball you want to touch on before we jump over. Like wide receivers, Chris Bell didn't have his greatest day, but I still have confidence in him once the season comes. Lacy looked good.
Lacy, he had
Meeks,
99 yards. He's as advertised, obviously. It's good to see his improvement and explosion and stuff. You go into injury. That you shut it down for the year. You never really know how hard somebody's working in the back end, and it's good to see that he was putting in the work to get back to what he is on the football field.
Yeah. Antonio Meeks, I think he was the one who made the big catch for 20-some-odd yard game. He had a pretty decent day. And then after that, it was like no one was heinously bad, but it was a lot of also ran. So would not be shocked to see us targeting wide receiver in the portal in the spring window.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. It's also hard to tell what you're getting whenever the guys aren't going full go. I mean, they're going full go, but they're not going all the way down to the ground. That's what I mean when I say full go. But you just can't tell as much.
Yeah. Also, Chris Hughes was banged up and didn't play. So the guy who finished as wide receiver 3 last year, we didn't have him on the field, but...
I'm curious what Jeff and the offense, Brian as a whole, their real thought is on the game. From my eye, Jeff didn't call anything overly complicated or anything that was, I don't know, deemed sexy, I guess. So it was just a normal, almost like a football practice, a glorified football practice. It was awesome to be out there and watching stuff. Other than that, it was just a normal day in the office for the boys. All
right, so let's flip to the other side of the ball then and start talking about the defense. I'll let you pick. You want to go inside out or outside in on the defense?
We'll go inside out. We'll start. Well, I'll bring it up. Micah Carter had a sack. Good job, St. X. Good. I'm kidding. That kid's going to be a beast this year. It was somebody I talked about in the live show. We talked about in the live show and on Friday, and I'm just excited to see a lot of these D linemen whenever they can actually hit a quarterback.
And it's a lot of the young guys, too, who looked really good.
Oh, that's refreshing, man.
Yeah. Yes, A.J. Green, Adonijah Green, whatever you want to go with. He looks like he's starting to take that next step and become that sort of menace on the edge. Wesley Bailey looked tough, but Wu Spencer, Selah Brown, Micah Carter, those guys looked really good.
Yeah, Adonijah on the edge is going to be – I would hate to have to be the fullback or tight end or H trying to kick that guy out. The arms on him are insane, and the fact that he's up to that 250-pound size now is terrifying.
And he hasn't sacrificed mobility to get there either.
No, not at all. I'm glad younger athletes are realizing, if I add strength to my lower half, I get faster. I just have to stretch a little bit more.
Now I just want him to get that bend, be able to bend around the edge.
And the bend is coachable. You get him more in that figure 8 drill, stuff like that. Get somebody really leaning on his shoulder. That's all coachable stuff, but it's awesome to see the improvements of these people.
Yeah.
Selah Brown wasn't just sitting on his butt the entire time he was injured,
Yeah, and, to sort of tie back to the live show we did at the spring game, one of the questions Jacob had before the game was who's going to be those guys to step up and be the face of the defense now that Q and Ashton are gone to the NFL? Adonijah has a chance to be that guy. Stanquan Clark in the middle. Now, I know we didn't get to see him because banged up, didn't participate.
He looked huge, though, on the field. Whenever I saw
so big, man.
When I saw him on the field, when they had the alumni down at half, I was like, oh, my. It just would suck to hit that dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, you saw he was blowing dudes up last year.
I know. There is no neck. It's non-existent. It is just huge. That dude he's going to be a force as long as he continues to develop mentally.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the linebackers. So I don't know whether it's more of a praise for Miller Moss for being able to find the dump downs, or are we still going to have to worry about our linebackers in coverage this year? Now, we didn't have Stanquan for LB1, but, Capers, Quinn, Perry got play, and then, you rotate in the younger guys as we get down the
41,
like Carter.
What's his name? The young freshman?
Matlow?
Yeah, he was flying around the field. I definitely watched him. The second, obviously, I couldn't see much the back half of what would have been like the second quarter because we were down on the field. But what I saw from the younger guys, I was very happy with that group. But the older guys, to your point, Keith, I was kind of just like that was a huge moment for somebody like TJ Capers to come out and make a statement on why he should be the guy.
I love that we're talking about redshirt sophomores as the older guys.
I mean, in this day and age, they are the older guys.
And again, this also could just be a factor of like, hey, we got a smart veteran quarterback who isn't at risk of being hit, so he's not going to make a poor decision.
Yeah.
Let's just dump it down, make the smart plays. Missionary and eye contact, baby.
Yeah, I know. That's what you said in the middle of the spring game. I was like, what? I mean, you're not wrong.
Vanilla ice cream.
It's just, you want somebody to step up and you want to hear. I want to be sitting here in this chair on Monday and be saying, dude, I heard TJ Capers' name a lot.
Yeah.
I heard X, Y, and Z a lot. And I feel like I didn't hear that out of that linebacker room. Now, mainly, I'm just going to attribute all this to them not being able to go to the ground.
I was just about to say that.
It's just hard to tell anything, man.
Yeah, going to the thud, I feel like it affects linebackers more than anyone else because it just takes the physicality out of.
They take a completely different pursuit angle.
Yeah, I just have to do this. I don't get to blow this guy up.
Well, they have the thud where it's like, I mean, you're coming to not a complete stop, but it's a good thud. They're not going to call it on an arm.
But realistically, who are they going to hit?
Exactly.
You're not going to hit Isaac or Duke like that.
Yeah.
At least if you don't want to be rolling at practice.
See, that's the thing is I don't know how they – I mean, logically we're thinking that. We don't want them to get hit and don't want them to get hurt. But I'm sure Isaac and Duke are sitting there saying, I need to get hit. Yeah. I need to feel some contact on me. Now I don't need to feel 25 carries on me, but I need to feel some.
I don't need Stanquan coming across the middle and lighting me up.
Let's chill. Let's chill on that. I mean, if they're needing contact that bad, they can just run into my ass for an hour and a half and just pay me $50 and we'll call it a day.
$50 to run into Vince's ass for an hour. So, back half of the defense, secondary. Was the biggest question mark coming into the game. How is the brand new secondary core going to do against the wide receiver room? Now, Vince, I want to get your thoughts on this because now watching the game, it seemed like we ran a lot of man defense.
Yeah.
And it seemed like rather than best on best sort of matchups, the defensive strategy was more how do our bodies match up? So we saw Rodney Johnson, when he was on the field, he was basically shadowing Chris Bell the entire time. Because that's just a perfect physical matchup.
Oh, yeah,
so
big guy on big guy.
Do you expect us to run more of that where it's just, for lack of a better term, matchup-based defense as opposed to maybe sitting in soft zones or trying to go best on best?
I mean, I wouldn't mind that, man. Like, if we have a big wide receiver like Chris Bell on there, on the field, put Rodney on him. I mean, logically, it makes sense. If we don't see, this is where I'm getting at. Maybe we don't have that. I'm going to throw out a name there, but maybe we don't have that Jair Alexander, Catrell Clark, Quincy Riley. He's going to shut down one side of the field guy, but we have guys that are capable of being matchup nightmares or matching up just as good with specific players, and coach is going to look at it that way and keep the defense simple.
And there's a role for that, not just in college, but at the next level. Like, take a guy like Rodney with his size and his frame. If he comes out and has a good year locking down other teams' just biggest receivers, he'll get his name called.
100%. And I mean, it's like I've said on all the shows with the defense and the secondary, it's all about communication on that back end. And it looked like there was a lot of communication going on. It looked like everybody was talking. I didn't see a lot of people.
Not a single play where we didn't have guys in a stance before the ball was snapped.
Exactly. That was cool. That was refreshing. I talked a lot about Jaden Minkins in the live show, and he was another kid that looked pretty good whenever he was out there on the field. who knows what's going to happen out of this back end. It was good to see.
No one looked bad.
No, that's the thing is nobody looked really bad, but nobody looked overly. Rodney had the interception, but nobody looked overly impressive either. Nothing was really outside of the one pick. Again, like they can't tackle.
Yeah, and also like it's sort of a weird thing because if we're not noticing you as a defensive back, it's kind of like an offensive lineman. You only really notice them if they're making a crazy play or if they messed up.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So
that's true. You have to be really watching for that stuff to be able to see it. I mean, shoot, that was the only look we were going to see because you can't find that damn game on YouTube or nothing like that.
Nowhere.
U of L archives locked and done.
I have to leverage some of your connections. Come on, can we get the game film, Coach, please?
Yeah, right. Connections, none.
Special teams, I just had one really, really pleasant surprise. It was going to be my pleasant surprise of the game. Now, I should just reach out to the kid to get the phonetic pronunciation of it because I don't know if it's Ranvier or Ranvier, but I believe redshirt freshman, or he might have been a true freshman, kicker from Frederick Douglass, came in, hit all of his kicks, including a 52-yarder into what felt like a probably 15-mile-an-hour headwind.
Which, kudos to the kid at a very boring part of the game where there was still a decent amount of people there to come out there. Who knows how his leg was feeling at that moment and just kick a 52-yard bomb like it was nothing. That's awesome. With
the competition, like there was a missed extra point by a different kicker during the game. Like
they're bringing a kid in from Trinity this year that's also, I've seen him in person. He's a pretty good kicker.
So if anything, it has me confident about us going into the next season that if this kid doesn't get the starting job, we're going to have a pretty damn good kicker because this kid looked great.
Yeah, he looked great. You can't tell much with the specs, obviously, out there. For me, it's just fun seeing Maz out there running around. Because, that's his moment, his time to shine, and I absolutely love it. I eat that stuff up every time I see it. So.
Now, if Ranvier, I'll go with Ranvier just because it sounds fancier for now until I get it corrected. It does become the starting kicker. I fully want to the fan base to get on board after he makes kicks during the regular season to Cool.
That would be good. Yeah. I like us just going with Cooper the kicker. That was great. That was great in the text message today.
So that was a pleasant surprise. And then we got hit with some unpleasant surprises.
What would that be, Keith?
Man, my prince, my precious baby boy, my large adult son.
Dude, this one hurt. This one
hurt because we talked to him at the spring practices.
Who knows what was going on in his head at that time? As far as we knew, he was just rehabbing a shoulder. But it's, as you're alluding to, Austin Collins hitting the transfer portal.
That sucks, man. At the end of the day, because of the quantity that we did bring in the portal, if we're going to lose players, offensive line is probably the spot that we're best equipped to do it. But that one hurts, man. Like we talked about, was it Dez went to Notre Dame?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Dez. Jared Dawson.
Dawson. Yeah, Dawson going to Notre Dame. That one hurt as a graduate transfer. Austin is, I believe, redshirt senior this year.
I have no clue how old that kid is anymore. I think I remember when he came in as a freshman. He's been a
Louisville staple on the offensive line the last 3 years.
Well, it was he left Louisville High School. He left Cal, went up north, and then he came back.
Yeah,
it's like the prodigal son returns, and it's like, but the prodigal son leaves again, and you're man. What are we doing?
So
that was frustrating.
That one hurt. Ill will, especially in today's day and age. Who knows what went into the decision?
Zero ill will. You never know. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. The kid could have a door open to return to Louisville. You never know how stuff. I was on the team with what's Ruben? Not Ruben.
I just wanted to say Ruben stuttered.
No, there was a kid back in the day that played with Tutu. I can't remember. Linebacker that went into the portal and then went out of the portal and then came back.
Well, we saw it with Keywan Brown.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
More recent example.
Just this year. Yeah.
So just because you enter doesn't mean you're gone. But if he is, happy trails. Wish you the best. Unless you're playing us, then stay healthy. And then JoJo Stone, who 4-star wide receiver coming out of high school.
This was a kid that I thought was going to pop in the spring. He swing and you miss sometimes. You know what?
It was just a situation where he came in as a highly touted kid, had an injury late in high school, and it just seemed like he never really got that explosiveness with the ball in his hands back. Maybe he needs more time. Maybe he needed more reps. But he was with the 2s and the 3s here.
Maybe he's a kid I could see that going to another school. Like John, he's not going to go at this level, but John Grenard, somebody who's had a lot of injury history. I think if JoJo can get at the right spot, the right fit, I think he could excel well. Yeah. The talent's there. Like you said, Keith, you saw a little bit of the explosion lacking from that injury, but this is one that at the end of the day that I didn't lose any sleep over.
Yeah. So I think he's a candidate to see him maybe go down a level.
Yeah, down a level, that's what 100%.
Get more PT, get more reps, get himself exposed, and then try to jump back up a level after a year. But we'll see. Again, no ill will. Wish you the best as long as you're not playing us. If you're playing us, I hope your hands are coated in theater popcorn butter.
Motor oil.
Castrol.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So those were the big 2 portal departures. We need to get after the circle. What are you doing? We don't have any signees yet.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure we can't sign anybody until Wednesday, technically.
Seriously. The portal stuff's so wild, man. The spring, it's almost like having 2 different seasons. It's like a spring. It truly is a spring football season and a spring fall season.
So you know how like the NBA, like the transactional aspect is almost more exciting than the product that's actually on the floor.
Yeah.
While I'm still a junkie for college sports and I don't think the offseason will ever be more exciting than the actual games, we're getting to that point where it's just compelling offseason content year-round. I think our guy Dan put out earlier, well, there goes my sleep for the next few weeks. We got basketball and the football portal in full effect. So,
yeah. He tweeted something about the Yankees, and that was a whole Soulja Boy, he copied my flow moment for me. I was like, whoa, if anybody's putting Yankee content out, Dan, it's me.
So, as the portal flows and as we pull new players out, and hopefully as not too many players jump in, you guys are happy here and want to stay.
Yeah, right. Buy you a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
He said that, not me.
I never said I said just buy.
So as the portal goes, though, keep it plugged in to From the Pink Seats podcast. We'll be bringing you the latest and greatest. For those of you who are audio only, make sure to subscribe to the audio feed. Leave the reviews, too. Jacob gets in there. I get in there. I like to see what the folks are saying.
I don't read negative comments. I don't need that in my life. Okay.
On the video side, if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, come check out the new digs. It's swanky. These digs are so nice. They deserve a like, and they deserve a subscription to the State of Louisville YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you have, high five, good job. Hop into the comments. Who are some players you want to see come out of the portal and join Louisville? What type of players are you looking for? Are you starving for wide receivers? Are you worried about the depth at DB?
Keith, why don't you, I don't mean to cut you off, but there have been some guys hopping into the portal of other schools. I know we're, wanting the show down here, but if you could just pick any of the guys right now, if I said Keith's top 2 guys I could pick out of the portal that he could handpick with Dan right now, who would you be going?
Well, I haven't looked at my phone in the
last 30 seconds.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know who all's in there. I'll tell you one that jumped in, I believe earlier today, that my jaw hit the floor. And it's not a position of need for us at all. Jaden Ott from Cal, man.
That would be sick.
They had 4 running backs hit the portal today.
I wonder what's going on there.
So they had the conversation about some big money boosters threatening to pull their funding if they don't make Ron Rivera the GM of the Cal football program. And Cal never made that move. So maybe there's something going on over there. I'm not going to speculation, but man.
That's wild.
Yeah. And anyway, though, Jaden Ott, he was injured most of last year, but he was up there with Amarian Hampton, who's getting talked about like he's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick this year as best running backs in the conference.
Right.
Before we knew Isaac and Duke were going to explode. So if we could get a 4-headed monster of sorry, Kiwan. If we get Ott, you're probably not going to get many carries. But a 3-headed monster of Ott, Brown, and Watson. Oh my God.
That would be sick. Miller Moss would be just doing a whole lot of this.
Get ready to learn West Point. We're running the Army offense.
You ever heard of the beer?
How about you, Vince?
For me, I'm not plugged into the portal like you guys. That's kind of why I asked, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind a splash of receiver somewhere. Another number one guy that we could go snag would be great. I don't know how we do that or if there's any guys potentially hitting the portal that we could snag.
Just gotta wait for some guys to hit the portal before we start dreaming. I mean, former Cardinal Christian Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
He was in the portal, just committed to Oklahoma State.
It's so wild that Chris got another year. I'm happy he did, 100%. Oklahoma State's going to be a good fit for him. I wonder if it was the Todd Grantham connect there because Todd was one of the DC whenever Dez and I were coming out of high school. So
who knows?
I don't know. Happy for Chris. I kind of wish he would have ended up at Louisville just to have another receiver on the board to throw the ball. I mean, he's a good ball player. Big body. I mean,
would have been.
So for me, just another receiver. Somebody to complement Lacy and Bell. Well, maybe a tight end, man. I'm just dreaming, fingers crossed, one day, maybe next year or this portal cycle or a following one where we just make a splash at tight end.
It's a frustrating thing, though, because we were so injured at tight end.
Yeah.
We've got 5 guys in that room already, and 3 were broken for the spring game.
Okay. Well,
and
obviously,
Dylan, you saw him. Even it was before he was pulled out, and he was still playing banged up. Dylan Messman looked good.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
he looked good. I'm sure that made you feel great.
I mean, you see the vision of the kid coming out of high school. Like, he's a fantastic player. Right, it's just getting him healthy and getting him an opportunity. So
healthy. Understand that one. Understand. Those Snapchat memories start popping up every time around this year, and I'm just like, oh my god, that's so miserable.
So, stay tuned in with us. We'll keep you up to date on all the happenings in the transfer portal and all the happenings of the offseason. And we got some fun content ideas coming for the offseason for the dog days of summer as well. On behalf of Vince Lococo, on behalf of Jacob Lane, who joined us very briefly via FaceTime, I'm producer Keith, and thank you all for tuning in to another episode of From the Pink Seats. And as always, go Cards.